Has living in Florida for 13 years made me happy? As you can see by the smile on my face, I would say the answer is yes. So I have made some videos in the past about how the warm weather is beneficial to you and some of the positive things that have changed for me. Also some of the reasons why moving to Florida has made my life vastly better than it was when I lived in Illinois. But in today's video, I wanted to just sit down and talk about what's different for me now. Like, why has living here all this time made my life better? And I'm not saying that any of this is going to come true for you, but it certainly did for me. And that's the reason why I'm making the video, just to give you guys a little bit of a glimpse into how things morphed for me from coming from Illinois to Florida and now being here for 13 years. What's the end result? What's happened? So here we go. So when I was a little boy, I used to love summertime in Illinois. It was always my favorite time of year. There was no school, which was the best part, and also the weather was a real close second. I used to love playing outside in the summertime. I used to love how the days would last forever. It didn't get dark until 8 o'clock at night. And I used to love being able to ride my bike outside and go in the pool and all kinds of things like that. After we came to Florida many times when I was a kid for vacation, I actually could never see myself living here. I always hated the humidity, even back then when I was a kid, and I even used to swear that I would never live in Florida. But, obviously you get older and things change. And even though Florida wasn't my first choice, I was actually planning to move to LA. Well, Florida chose me, and I've came here and I've been here ever since. And that feeling that I got when I was a little boy about the summertime is amazing, because every day that I live in Florida reminds me of being that little boy again. Because in Florida, it's the endless summer. Not very many states can say they have an endless summer. California is probably a pretty close second, maybe the southern part of Arizona, and really far down south in Texas too. But that's it, right? Nowhere else in the United States can say they have that endless summer. And I would go as far to say that nobody has the endless summer as good as we got it down here in South Florida. Not even North Florida, because it gets a lot colder up there than it does down here in the winter. So I guess that's the first rant, is that I loved summer when I was a kid. And now that I live here in Florida full time, I love the fact that it's always summer here. I wish the summers weren't as hot as they are, but I live with it because it's a small price to pay to not have to deal with those winters and to be able to go outside any time of the year in shorts and a t-shirt. The next biggest change that applied to my life was that I feel like once I came to Florida, the opportunities started to flourish for me. And it could have been because I was young and very outgoing and I was looking for those opportunities every single day. There's no doubt that that was a big part of it. But the other part of it was that where I grew up in Illinois, in Belvedere, there wasn't really much in the way of opportunity. The next nearest sort of semi-large city is Rockford, Illinois, and even then, you're not looking at great job prospects or opportunity there, even if you have a college degree. And yeah, I could have moved to Chicago, which only would have been 90 minutes away from my hometown, but it's still the same weather. It's still the same Illinois type feeling. It just wasn't for me, guys. And I'm sure a lot of you out there who watch my channel can totally relate to what I mean by that. It's hard for me to put it in words and really describe to you what it was that made me want to get out of there so badly. But I feel like it was just the same old humdrum, right? The same old thing of going to school and getting married and getting the job and having kids and just settling down and all of that stuff. I just never saw myself living that life. What are you going to do, right? You have to move on to greener pastures. And the greener pasture for me was the green and blue pasture of the beautiful green palm trees and the blue Atlantic Ocean. And one thing that really helped me enjoy myself once I moved to Florida is, and this is something you might be able to relate to as well, before I actually moved here, I was detailing cars, right? That was the last job I had before I came to Florida. And I used to look out the window every day as I was cleaning the cars because the garage doors there had like windows and you could see outside. I would see the dark gray, gloomy Illinois sky and snow on the ground and the freezing air temperatures because there was no heat or air conditioning in the garage that we used to work in. And every day I would look out that window and just imagine what it would be like if I was looking at palm trees and the ocean instead of that gray, gloomy weather. And that constant daydreaming every single day definitely, I believe, led me here, but it also helped me appreciate living here more once I actually got here. Because it's easy to want to change your life and move somewhere new, and then once you get there, it might not be all cracked up that you thought it would be, and that can be a letdown and a big disappointment. But for me, it was exactly as I dreamed and I envisioned. And the only thing that wasn't the total dream come true is that I couldn't just stay on the beach every day, all day, and do nothing. Obviously, you have to work and try to make a living still. But even that part came pretty close to being true, because one of my first jobs here before I got into real estate was working at a restaurant, and I used to work nights. I didn't have to be at work until 6 p.m. So guess what? I got to spend most of my days at the beach, even on days that I had to work. So it was just like the dream come true. Even though I was just working some stupid restaurant job, I could care less. Back in Illinois, I was working some stupid detailing job. But now the difference is I live on the ocean and I have this $1 million view, and I get to go to the beach every day while everybody's in Illinois and it's freezing, literally, because I moved here in January. So I got a full taste of what winter was like in Florida right off the bat. Now, another thing that really definitely changed for me after moving here, and I do consider all of this to be a combo deal, guys. It wasn't just like one thing that changed and then, everything else sort of changed. It was like all of this together helped me become the person I am now. Just like everybody else's life, you're the sum of all of your days put together, and that leads you to who you are now. And so me being here for 13 years has definitely turned me into a more positive person. Because when I used to live in Illinois, I used to get depressed a lot. I used to think negatively about my life and what my future might be, especially if I didn't get out of Illinois. And I still do have negative thoughts like anybody else, but I am much better at curbing that and trying to flip things around 180 and turn it back into a positive state of mind, because I know how powerful that is. That's what got me here. That's what's kept me here. That's what helps me live in this oceanfront apartment. And this whole state of mind of staying positive and feeling good and optimistic about the future has definitely came from living here in Florida. I can honestly say, if I was still living in Illinois right now, I don't think I would be nearly as positive of a person as I am right now. I fear that maybe the negative side of me would have completely taken over and I would have become a totally different person. And it's kind of sad and scary to think about, thinking of what the alternative might have been. And it also just makes me super grateful for being able to move here at such a young age and being able to have the motivation and also the drive to just get my life together and do something, right? So many people just dream about that. They just think about it, but they never actually do it. And I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith and I had the courage when I was 20 years old to just come here and just say, forget everything else, I'm out of here. Now, I'm definitely not saying that that's what you should do. And I'm not even saying that Florida is for you. Your spot might be somewhere else, Like, I really love the mountains, and I could see myself living somewhere near the mountains, but guess what that would mean? That would mean that I don't live in Florida anymore because we don't have mountains. The idea isn't that I need to be in Florida in order to be happy. The idea is that because I'm in Florida, it's greatly increased my happiness level, my outlook on life, and my level of positivity, and therefore turned me into the person I am now, who makes these YouTube videos that so many of you seem to love and enjoy, and also has helped so many of you out there. I'm extremely grateful for that, guys. Florida has given me this gift to speak to you, to make these videos and share all of the knowledge and experience that I have after living here for 13 years. And This is one of the funnest things I've ever done in my whole life, and I never thought that you could actually make a living doing something like this. And I'm pretty sure at some point this year, this is going to be able to pay my bills full time, making these videos for you. And obviously, a lot of you really love when I talk about Florida, so I'm going to try and keep that in as many videos as I can. Obviously, one day the channel will have to evolve and change and talk about maybe some broader topics, but for now, there's still so much to see and do and talk about right here in Florida, and I'm happy to cover it for you. This is fun. And that's really what I just want to end this video with, is just a message of feeling grateful. Grateful that I came here, grateful that I started this YouTube channel, grateful that you guys watch and appreciate my videos, and grateful that I can actually really help some of you out there in the real world make your move here and give you answers to your questions and just interact with people in a way that I never thought I would, especially after working as a real estate agent all this time. You know, being on YouTube and being a real estate agent couldn't be more different. It's such a different thing. And I feel very lucky to have this channel, to have you guys as my audience and my community, and I look forward to making many more videos about Florida for you. I'll see you guys in my next video. And you don't have to wait, you can go ahead and check out one right over here.